In many families, blood is everything. It binds people together across generations, even beyond death. But what happens when someone pretends to be blood and is welcomed without question? This is a chilling story of a young man who didn't just lie his way into a family. He killed his way into becoming one of them. A stranger with a familiar story. It began quietly. A young man arrived at a rural home in South Africa, carrying nothing but a story and confidence. He claimed to be the long-lost son of a man who had already passed away years earlier, a man who could no longer confirm or deny. The family was shocked, confused, but also emotional, because the deceased had once left home under unclear circumstances. And like many families, there had always been unanswered questions. Could it be true? Could this young man really be their brother's child? Winning their trust, the man didn't just show up. He came prepared. He spoke convincingly. He shared details, some real, some fabricated, that he made his story believable. He had grown up away from the family. He had struggled, but managed to educate himself. He was now a qualified doctor. That last part impressed them the most. A doctor, someone successful, someone their late brother would have been proud of, out of respect for the deceased, and hope that this was truly his child. The family welcomed him. They gave him a place to stay. They treated him like one of their own. And slowly, they began to trust him completely. The perfect infiltration, living under the same roof. The young man observed everything. The family structure, who owned what, who was vulnerable, who trusted him the most. He learned their routines, their habits, their weaknesses. To the family, he was adjusting, but in reality, he was planning. Cracks began to show. At first, nothing seemed wrong, but small details began to raise quiet suspicion. He never produced proof of his medical qualifications. He avoided questions about his past. His stories sometimes didn't add up. Still, the family brushed it off. After all, this was family. And questioning him felt like questioning their late brother. Then, tragedy struck. One family member died under mysterious circumstances. It was sudden, unexplained, painful, but not immediately suspicious. The family mourned, and the young man stood among them, comforting them, blending in, watching. A pattern of death. Not long after, another death, then another. Each time, no clear cause, no obvious struggles, just silence, followed by grief. The house that once welcomed him with warmth slowly became a place of fear. But no one suspected the quiet young man who had claimed to be their own. The motive revealed. What investigators would later uncover was chilling. This was not random. It was calculated. The young man's goal was simple. Erase the family, take everything, become them. Their house, their identity, even their nationality. Because the truth was, he was not South African. And this was his way in. The mask slips. Eventually, suspicion grew too strong to ignore. Authorities were called. Investigations began. And slowly, the truth surfaced. The young man was not related to the family at all. No blood connection. No shared past. Just a carefully constructed lie. Even worse, he was not a doctor. Everything he had claimed was false. When the police closed in, the pieces came together. False identity, fraudulent background, a pattern of deaths linked to his presence. He was arrested. And under questioning, the full scale of his deception and alleged crimes began to unfold. A family destroyed. By the time the truth came out, it was too late. A family that had opened its doors out of love and respect had been systematically destroyed from within, not by an outsider breaking in, but by someone they had invited in, fed, sheltered, trusted. What makes this case so disturbing isn't just the violence, it's the manipulation, the patience, the ability to study emotions, exploit grief, weaponized trust. He didn't force his way into the family. He was welcomed. Lessons from the case. This story leaves behind difficult but important lessons.